Robert Sánchez or Filip Jørgensen? Who should start for Chelsea this season? Now before I start, could you like, comment, share, subscribe, hype the video. Thank you for watching. Now let's talk about them through the seasons first, and then we'll talk about who should start. So Robert Sánchez, he came in from Brighton, and at the time I think it's Brighton's second choice keeper or third choice keeper. Quite baffling why he came in. I can't remember who's goalkeeper at the time. It might be Mendy, I'm not too sure, but for some reason he went pretty much straight in, and he was okay. He wasn't awful, but you could tell there were a lot of mistakes. But at the time Chelsea were in transition period, you could kind of allow it a little bit. Then the next season, I think that was season Filip Jørgensen came in, but yeah, and I think that was the Conference League season. So the Conference League season, Jorgensen was in, and I was expecting Jorgensen to start off Robert Sánchez. But I think the reason being, Robert Sánchez, he was here last season. He was given the merit to start at the start of the season, and unless he played bad, he would stay there. And he actually started performing pretty good, pretty alright. And Jorgensen, he kind of was second fiddle pretty much. He was in the B team, he was playing in the Conference League, and his stats probably were better, but the reason being was he mainly played in the easier games. He played in the Conference League, and I think he played all the way up until the final, and he was actually pretty decent, and he played in the cup games as well. But Robert Sánchez, he started in the Premier League games, and you can see Robert Sánchez, when he played, he did make quite a few mistakes, and we were already fed up with him, and we really wanted another keeper, a great keeper, like Edouard Mendy. We just needed a great keeper, and we were ready to be like, okay, next season let's go sell him. That was at just before the middle of the season of the Conference League season, the one where we won the Conference League. But near the end of the season, he started showing up with great performances, and I would say man of the match performances, but he was definitely showing up, and genuinely he was pretty good, and you can see he was steadily improving. His mistakes, that he made slowly became less and less. Yes, he made mistakes here and there, and at the time it did feel like it happened pretty much every other game. But if you look at it, it was probably every 6, 7, 8 games it happened. But it did feel like every other game. But one thing he did show was he was absolutely phenomenal at shot stopping. And then came the Club World Cup final against the Champions League winners, PSG. And he kept a clean sheet. And Chelsea absolutely dominated the match. And he did keep a clean sheet. And that was Robert Sánchez showing the world, showing all the other Chelsea fans, look, I'm your starting keeper. Don't sign anyone else. I'm your guy. And he was absolutely great. And under Enzo Maresca, you could feel like he had a lot of confidence in him. And at the start of the season as well, during this whole start of the season with Enzo Maresca, up until Enzo Maresca got sacked, he was absolutely phenomenal. You could tell his confidence was sky high, and he was absolutely great. His mistakes were very infrequent, and he was actually, I would say, near world class. He was definitely in the top 5 goalkeepers in the league, top 10 goalkeepers in the league. And one other thing was he was actually in the race for Premier League Golden Glove. And I must credit Maresca for this quite a lot, because now Maresca has gone, you can see how bad the defense was. And I'm not saying the goalkeeper was that bad. Okay, he is kind of bad, but the thing about goalkeepers, one of the big parts of them performing well is your confidence. If the confidence is high, they're much more likely to have a great game. It's kind of like how strikers are. If the confidence is high, like João Pedro was quite recently, you're going to score much more. And goalkeepers is like that. When you're not confident at all, you're going to make so much mistakes. And Robert Sánchez is very confident. He was playing every single match. He was giving great performances, unbelievable saves he made, and even his build-up play wasn't that bad. He was going a bit more direct, I think, but it wasn't even that bad. It was pretty good, build-up play. And then what happened was he got sacked, Enzo Maresca, and Rosenior came in, and if I was Robert Sánchez, I wouldn't think anything changed. I mean, yes, new manager, you're upset, but you're going to stay as a goalkeeper. Chelsea's number 1. But no, randomly, in the most random match against Aston Villa, a team who, yes, they were dipping in form, but they were still third or fourth place. I think third place at the time, and it was so random. He put Jorgensen in. At the time, I was thinking, why would he do that? And Jorgensen, to his credit, did pretty good. He only conceded 1 goal. He wasn't that bad. He was pretty good. And Robert Sánchez, he was basically benched. And then for the next game, it happened. That was against PSG, and that's where you could tell. That's where you could tell the difference between Jorgensen and Robert Sánchez, the quality-wise. And you can tell Robert Sánchez, in my opinion, is a superior goalkeeper. And he made a mistake. And the thing is, it was a communication mistake. The defenders, they weren't in a position to receive the ball. And it definitely messed up. You could tell it there. And on top of that, he conceded 5 goals. One of them, which not including the mistake, was he got a hand to it, but it wasn't strong enough. He should have really been saving that, but it is what it is. Because of that, we got knocked out of the Champions League to PSG in the round of 16. And ever since then, it's really messed up what's happened. Both our goalkeepers have been on bad run of form. They've both don't have much confidence in them. You see Robert Sánchez, he didn't make a mistake, but he's not that goalkeeper that he was under Enzo Maresca. And I don't think Rosenior's actually changed that much, coaching-wise, whatever, but goalkeeping-wise. But I think it's a confidence thing. Robert Sánchez's confidence it's been lowered a bit. Jorgensen is completely been knocked out, against PSG. And this is where they really messed up. He should have swapped goalkeepers. Probably because apparently I've heard that Robert Sánchez's contract is going to run out and they're trying to probably sell him, cash in on him. That's why he didn't play, something like that. Contract dispute, I'm not too sure. But they should have just kept him. They should have kept him in the number 1 goalkeeper position. So what if you conceded 2 goals against Aston Villa? If he would have played. But if you look at them, even stats-wise, Liam Sanchez is a better keeper. Build-up play is the only thing that Jorgensen does better. And even then, he's not light years ahead. He's not world class at it. And Robert Sánchez, his goalkeeper is better. His crosses court is actually about 1.1 something like that. And Jorgensen is about 0.55. He actually has a better presence in the box, Robert Sánchez. And all the metrics tell you that Robert Sánchez is a better goalkeeper. So far this season, Jorgensen, in all the games he's played, he hasn't kept a single clean sheet. He's played the easier games, bear in mind. Robert Sánchez, he's, before Maresca left, he had more matches than goals conceded. That's pretty impressive for a goalkeeper. And he actually had about 13 clean sheets or 10 clean sheets, I'm not too sure. But he had a lot of clean sheets. And yes, our defense have regressed, but also our goalkeeper. That's mainly due to confidence. And I beg the question, who should start? I think who should start should definitely be Robert Sánchez. But they've made a big mistake here with dropping him. And I do think Robert Sánchez should start. Jorgensen should come on in the cup games, against Port Vale, see how he does, get his confidence up a bit. But I do think the damage is done. And I do think Robert Sánchez should stay. Even though, Robert Sánchez, he conceded, 3 to Everton and 3 to PSG. I mean, right now they're both mid-keepers. If we had Robert Sánchez at the start of this first half of the season, I mean, he was borderline world-class. We had a great keeper. It's been messed up, but I would start Robert Sánchez. For next season, I would keep Robert Sánchez. And I don't know if you guys know, but there's this goalkeeper in Strasbourg. His name is Mike Penders. He's literally the next Thibaut Courtois, ability-wise. And he's genuinely going to be one of the world's best keepers. And Chelsea are basically waiting for him to get really good in the French league. And they're going to move him to Chelsea. And I think if they do that next season, you're going to put, a 20-year-old goalkeeper starting the Premier League week in, week out. I don't think you should do that. Maybe loan him out to another Premier League club if you want to. But I don't think he should be starting for Chelsea week in, week out. I think that's way too risky to do. And for next season, I think we should keep Robert Sánchez. Or just get the AC Milan keeper that we tried to get in the summer, Mike Magnan. And I feel like we should be okay. But it is quite annoying what they've done, really. So what do you guys think? Who should start, Robert Sánchez or Filip Jørgensen? Let me know. Could you like, comment, share, subscribe, hype up the video? Thank you for watching.